A very good afternoon to everyone who's sitting here and for all the dignitaries who are here. And I would like to thank Telangana Mahila Vishwavidyalayam and CJAR, Lilavati Auntie and Narsimha Rao Uncle for having me here today. I'm Sneha, and I'm so happy to see myself being young and you're all young here. I work for an organization called Aranya Agricultural Alternatives. This organization is founded by my parents, Padma and Narsana, and academically I am a food and nutrition professional. While I was studying, I felt that there is a need for me to connect the food that is being grown to the soil that is there, and because if you want to be healthy, your soil needs to be healthy. And in that pursuit, I thought it is important for me to work with the land, with the soil, and with the communities. And today I'm here in front of you to talk about the work that we have been doing with the women farmers, small and marginal farmers across Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. The core values of Aranya, our organization, again, are women empowerment, natural resource management, and working with women farmers in special, and also the small and marginal farmers. And we've been talking about women a lot since this morning. I would like to ask you a question quick. Why do you think women is the focus of our work, or why have we been talking about women since morning? With respect to climate change or with respect to environment? Anyone from this side? Okay, I would like to ask you a question. Seed, soil, and women. If you look at all three of these, what is one thing they have in common? Seed, soil, and women. Production, which means having the ability to give life to new forms, right? The ability to reproduce. Other than that, what are the other qualities that they all have? They grow quickly. Do we really grow quickly? Okay. What are the other qualities of a woman? Caregiving, taking care of their children, nurturing, compassion, empathy, patience. So if all of these qualities exist in women and nature, it is a great asset, right? So imagine if having all these qualities, they don't have access to resources, not having access to land, not having access to power, but have access to all of these things. How is it going to be? No growth and development? Okay. No progress. So imagine if a woman has access to land, or if a woman has access to resources, what does it mean? So many times we can tell women are not financially empowered, but if you put finances aside, what would be the other thing that they would be really empowered and controlling the entire economy of a system? Entire life. Sorry? Next generations. Yes, you're all right. So having access to land, because we are working with farmers, why I'm stressing on women and having access to land is, if a woman has access to land, and if a woman, who's a caregiver at your home? Your mom, right? Who knows what you like? Your mom. Who knows what your brother likes, or your sister likes, or what your father likes? Your mom. Who takes care of you if you're sick? Okay? So imagine if a woman has access to land, and she can grow things for you. Is she doing a monoculture of crops, or she's going to do a multiculture of crops? Huh? Multiculture of crops. And this having access to land is not just something that she's growing food for, but she's also becoming financially independent in a different way, right? How do you think? She has access to seed. She can grow what she wants. She can grow what your family needs. She can go what your brother wants, your father wants, what she needs, and she doesn't have to depend on anything that is coming from an external source, which is again the money. Do you think she has to think of money in order to call some relatives to your home? No, because she is growing food. She has access to land, she has access to resources, she has access to everything that she can feed people, right? So she starts, so that is a kind of empowerment, every woman should have that right to access to land, where in turn she's having access to every resource. Right? Does she still need money in spite of having all these resources? No, right? Do you think so? In some cases, yes, but if the head of the house, in my case as women, if the head of the house has access to all of these, then the dependency on external things would be as less as possible. Isn't it? I would like to give a small example of the work that we are doing. We have been working with the women farmers, especially focused on women farmers in Zahirabad area of Telangana. And there is a program where the regenerative agricultural program that we have been stressing on, and we have worked with 110 women farmers in that area. And we chose women who are small and marginal and have a very little piece of land but haven't been cultivating anything because they don't know what to do with their lands. We provided some hand-holding support, capacity building, and what they did was they started growing things. So participation of women in what they want is very important. This is often neglected. We don't give importance to what they want. It is often the men who dictate what their land wants. But if you ask a woman what they need, they tell what their family needs. So it means if you're empowering a woman, it means you're empowering a household, you're empowering a state, you're empowering a country, you're empowering the entire world. So decision-making process, if it goes into the hands of the woman, everything is going to be in a safe hands. So when we asked the women, so like I said, there is something called participatory rural uprising, where we take the inputs of the people participating. It's not that because I am giving you a project, then you have to listen to what we say. We request the women to tell us what they need. According to their needs, then we design it. So when we requested them to list out the plans of what they want, it was not a monoculture. It was diverse. Because they're thinking of what she likes, what the kids like, what the family likes, and then what she could sell also. But then the first thing that she's thinking of is herself, the family, and the zones after that. So and after that, we also had some other farmers who were also men, and after we've given the fruit plants to the women farmers, there was a 1 year period where we requested them to take care of them because we were supposed to give them a milch animal based on the survival rate of the plants. Okay, if the survival rate of the plants is higher, then they would get a milch animal. So why milch animal? Do you think there are less animal integration happening in the villages? ఆవులు గేదెలు అన్నీ ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయా తక్కువ ఉన్నాయా ఇప్పుడు ఊర్లలో తక్కువైనాయా సో ఈ ఊర్లో కూడా తక్కువనే అయింది there were no milch animals they all sold off because nowadays there is no joint family system everything has become nuclear if they want to step out of their house they have to think of who's going to take care of my cattle it's become a situation like that so because they knew that they were going to get a milch animal if they were to take care of these plants and make sure that the survival rate is higher. The people who are very much interested, again especially the women, they made sure that the plant survival rate is up to the mark, okay, for the first year, so 80% survival stage, and then they were given a milch animal, which is your cow or buffalo. So what improved after we gave this? What do you think the changes might have happened after giving these women one milch animal? Okay, financially improved. Other than that, even before we go to finances, something else is what they do. The family, they start consuming the milk, they start consuming the curd, And they start making ghee, they start selling it among the community that is there in their area. Because in this village where there was a lot of cattle, now during the time when we were working with them, they really didn't have many cattle. And giving this access has really helped them in a way, because they were getting thousands of milk packets into one village. And giving this one milk animal to those women have not just increased the food and nutritional security in their homes, but also in the entire village. So the entire village ecosystem has changed with just this one thing. So not just the milk and the curd or your ghee, other than that, they're also using the farmyard manure, which means they're using the dung, they're using the cow urine, which is in turn going into their lands. So just see one drop that you put, and it has created a ripple, not just at the home level, but also it is increased exponentially into the other circles that are next to them, right? And other thing, so again, coming back to access to land that we said, if you think of money and access to land, what do you do generally if you're not growing anything? What do? We do buy things and consume, right? So having access to land not only gives them annual produce, but also the produce that comes in the nature by itself. So many of the people, women that we are working with, they get a lot of uncultivated edible greens during the season. Do you know uncultivated edible greens? It is, you know palak, amaranth, broccoli, lettuce. So these are the ones that we know, but there are also a lot of things that we don't know, which are called the uncultivated edible greens, which come up on their own during the monsoon. And these edible greens are biggest source of nutrition for the rural households. And this happens in the monsoon, where they go collect the uncultivated edible greens and feed their family. So having access to resources, we have to provide women the access to resources. If they are empowered, then if they get access to those resources, they are going to make everything a better place. Again, whatever they're growing, it is not just creating ripples in their family and outside, but also creating a local economy. Local economy is often something that we forget. We always tend to buy something that's exported or there. But if we can support the local economy, it is also the farmers of that region, be it the women farmers. Whenever I say farmers, it is always a man that comes into the picture, but I would want all of you to imagine a woman farmer behind your head, because most of the work, if you see in the fields, is being done by a woman and not the man. He's also doing something, it's not that he's not, but we don't often underestimate the work that a woman is doing in the agriculture systems. And buying local would do of a great benefit when you are buying food for yourself. Local food systems need to be supported. We are talking about climate change. Of all of these that I've discussed right now, did you feel that women are creating big carbon footprint or less carbon footprint? Less carbon footprint, right? So in these lands, the women are growing at least minimum 12 different diverse varieties of crops. 12 different varieties of crops, where you see now in the conventional agricultural system, you only see just one kind of crop being grown, where there is no diversity. But if the woman is doing the cropping system, there's a lot of difference. They grow diverse crops, which is also helping the diversity in a wider aspect, not just in their farm, but also for the entire environment. And using small and slow solutions, like since this morning we have been hearing a lot of problems and a lot of solutions, a lot of policy level changes that we are requesting to make. I think any change that we are doing, it should start from within us, and then think of what can be done at policy level, what can be done at a government level, because most often we often try to blame the government or blame the policies, but we don't think what we are doing. And also, morning Vijayalata ma'am was talking about reuse, refuse, and reuse, reduce, and recycle. I would like to add two more to that, which is your rethink and refuse. Okay, if you follow rethink and refuse, then you don't have to think of reducing or reusing or recycling. So I would again give a small example of the bottle from this morning. Somebody has offered me to take a bottle. I refused. I have a bottle of water, so I refused. It means there is no need to manage waste that you're generating. There is no need to generate waste at all. So even when you go to a shop and you're buying something from a store, he or she is giving you, even if it's a smaller milk packet that you can just hold in your hand, they're just dropping it in a polythene and giving it to you, right? What can you do then? You can rethink, saying, do I really need this, or do I just carry it back home? So you can refuse also. So add these two things. If you add your rethink and refuse to your reduce, reuse, recycle, then you don't have to even follow those steps. We have unnecessarily created the word of management of waste. Instead of managing waste, why can't we stop consuming waste? Why can't we stop generating waste? Another thing, again, I don't know why I got a little sidelined, but also while we are working with these women farmers, we've trained them on how to use simple techniques, even on their farms, on their lands, using not heavy, bigger technologies, but technologies that they can use from within the natural resources that are available. So if the same thing was given to somebody else, again I'm using the gender man, then they would look for either a technological thing or a heavy machinery. But if we give the same responsibility to women, she would look at things that are locally available and naturally available next to her. So in this way, we are also trying to work with them to work with the existing natural resources that are there, even to measure the land, to do some natural earthworks that are happening. So this way, they are reducing a lot of carbon footprint in the agriculture sector. And we are promoting this as much as possible. Even the seed banks, quite every time this happens. So we also work with women community who's building seed banks in different areas of Telangana. So whenever we give some seeds to a person, to the husband, and ask her to give it to the wife, next time we visit the place, the seeds are still in the pocket of the man. Okay? But if you give the seeds to a woman, she knows how to nurture. The next day, right next day, they are going to go back into the soil. And next time you go visit, you're going to eat the fruits or the vegetables of that. So that is how much of a difference. So having access to resources is very important, that we have to provide all the women with. So they empower the world, empower the household, even from a smaller place to a bigger place, they are going to create a very big impact. And the climate change, whenever we hear the term climate change, I think there's the Arctic, there's the glaciers melting down, and a lot of things happening. That's on a bigger scale. But I want all of us to think of how climate change is also happening in your kitchens. How do you think climate change is impacting in your kitchens? All the fumes, okay. You can see the impact of climate change in the kitchens. If there is no particular crop available of that season due to environmental issues, and then you don't have access, your mom is not feeding you that, then you question her, why is it not available? Then you have to look at the entire food supply chain. Why is it not there, or why is it very expensive at this point of time? This year especially, we didn't have rain during the winter. So the entire winter cropping season is gone. None of the farmers have sown a winter crop. So if you want to eat chana the next season, or if you want to eat your omega-3 rich flaxseed, the women have not sown them in their crops, because the climate is changing. There is no rainfall. There is erratic patterns of rains that are happening. So if your mama wants to buy that and feed you in the kitchen, she'll have to spend 500 extra more bucks to buy it, so she's not going to feed you. So that is how climate change is directly and indirectly affecting in your kitchens as well. It is not a rocket science, or it is not something that is happening very far away from you, but it is impacting, affecting within your homes. And this is something that we have to look at and pay attention to. this morning when I was listening to one of the talks, I felt I would respectfully agree to disagree to certain things, because there are policies, there are scientists, but let's not wait always for the policies and scientists to make some changes. It should start from within. We have to start doing something. Only if that awareness is being created in you and the change starts from you, you can do anything. If that doesn't happen, it is wrong on our ends to expect somebody else to do it for us.
I would like to share an observation. I completely agree with your point of women entering into parliament. But there are certain studies, especially after formation of Telangana, there are certain studies which shows that women, they are taking up the double burden of farming as well as the household activities. And I'm sorry to say, but this is what the research is saying, and men end up consuming alcohol and just confining themselves to home. So what is your observation? Because you are working on the field, so what is your observation on
this
that?
This is happening. This is happening, and it is happening. It is very bad that we are witnessing all of it. And the village we stay in right next to us, you see very young people, very, very young people, just 12th pass or just 10th grade, they are getting addicted to alcohol, and many children, many women losing their husbands and losing their children, and that extra burden of them not being is on the women. And this is happening, and that is a very big problem that we are seeing nowadays in the rural India, because they get free money, they get free pensions, they get free resources of all sorts, so the burden has been more on the women.
We are also mentioning about the PRA. That is one of our research techniques which even we deal with. So what kind of techniques are you using as part of PRA? Presently, are you still using that?
Yes, we do use for some activities.
Like
if ever we go to a new village, or if we are even in the existing village, if we want them to. So recently we had this activity where we were asking the women to do a chalk with the rangoli, with the rangoli. We ask them to mark where their lands are according to their survey numbers, and sometimes we also do it with after doing a transact walk, we do a village map.
Yeah, like social
mapping, and also sometimes we also ask them to bring what are the greens that they are eating right now, and which season are they available. So they do
seasonality
based. So there are multiple ways, in multiple situations we use the PRA techniques.
You are presently using that?
Yes, we are still using them, yes.
Thank you.
It cannot be unused. It's a very wonderful tool for people who are working at the grassroots levels to work with the community and incorporate these into the techniques.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.